And we're back, and with us is Tom Williams Jr., or the second,
John.
or the third, or the fourth.
Ken,
Tommy?
nice to be here.
So anyway, Kenny,
Tommy is the son of the former NHL legend and great Tommy Williams. We'll talk more about some of the things that, your dad instrumental in the things that took place, and especially your uncle, or your grandpa, Rip Williams, out at Lower Chester, and the legacy of hockey that Lower Chester has in this area of Duluth. Of course, that's where I learned to play my hockey, up at Lower Chester. Tommy Williams, when he broke in with the Boston Bruins in 1961, he was the first U.S. player in the NHL since the 1940s. He went on to play 13 seasons in the NHL, including 2 with the North Stars. When his father sent him to the Canadian Junior League after his Duluth Central days, it was a controversial move, but it catapulted Williams to the NHL and opened the door, opened the road for other U.S. players. Tommy, what about this? It was a controversial move. They got this story right here?
Well, I think my grandfather and most of my uncles, my grandfather's children, believed that the junior league was the way to go. And my father was being not forced so much, but he was being coerced to play for the juniors by my grandfather, but ended up getting a scholarship at the Maine U down in Minneapolis. And prior to his signing with the Maine U, he was picked up by the U.S. national team, which kind of alleviated all the problems. So it was there really wasn't a problem. It all worked out. So
well, I've got a listing here, John, of his playing days.
yeah, and before we get to that though, last week's show we had some audio troubles, if you didn't notice. But coming up down at Lower Chester, big things are happening. We have registration coming up Saturday, which would be April 27th. If you just want to expand upon what's going down at Lower Chester right now this summer and down the future.
right, yeah, the Lower Chester facility itself has been redone, and the surface, it's a whole refrigerated surface, but it's outside, and it's been just totally reconstructed, and it's comparable to the deck, for lack of a better word. And what we're going to be doing this summer is we're going to be doing an inline hockey league for mite and squirt age kids, which are 7 and 8 year olds for mites and 9, 10, 11 year olds for the squirts. And so far the response has been fabulous. And what we're going to do is a 6-week youth league. And it's going to be basically just like your hockey rules. It's going to be, the same rules as the kids play through the Daha system. And it's going to be a fun deal, and we're looking forward. The kids will be able to keep their jerseys at the end of the year. We're going to have a nice cookout at the end of the year. I'm going to try to get some seafood from Boston, because for some reason the people in Duluth they just can't get good seafood out here. I don't know what's up with that, but
Red Lobster don't cut it?
no, it does. Oh. Not even close.
I used to live on the East Coast. I remember my dad bringing home the crabs in the Old Bay.
Oh yeah, but yeah, we're gonna have fun with this.
Maybe that didn't sound so good, huh? The crabs in the Old Bay. Hey, I'm telling you, he went down and got like 4 dozen crabs, and he's eating these things like crazy. How do you get into this stuff? Where's the burgers and fries?
But also, I will say this: that we're gonna look into expanding this whole scenario with the inline thing down there. You're going to have anywhere from 4 to 5 months of solid inline potential, and
4 to 5 months.
Yeah, we're looking like at adults, girls, peewees, bantams, mini mites. I got a call today from a lady who wanted her mini mite, a 4-year-old mini mite. Can he play on the mites? I mean, that's how this thing is kind of snowballing.
So registration is this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday from 10 to 3 at Lower Chester, and If you can't make it, we're online, and you can reach us at www.hotlinehockey.net.
Hotlinehockey.net.
Yeah.
We'll check that out. So when does the season get started?
Well, registration Saturday. The season won't actually start until June 22nd. And the reason that we had such maybe a large gap between the two is because this is the first time that anybody has done anything like this for the youths.
Okay.
And you got the notes last week, but at least I think I heard of something in the cities, but at least in northern Minnesota. So, we want the parents' input. This is not going to be some sort of, regimental type of hockey or inline league. We want to have the people that are playing in it be involved and give us their input, so we can go from there, and we can get somewhat of a happy medium through this whole thing. So.
Well, now, when you pick teams now, you're not doing it the old conventional, the Freiburger kids are there. You're drafting from all around the city and mixing up the pot, should we say?
That's right, yeah. Rick Lyle is my partner in this whole deal. He's a parent down at Lower Chester. And he and I and his wife Heidi have been working very hard on this. And we came to the conclusion that not only would it be fun to have the kids throughout the city play with different associations, but it would be fun to have just a one-day draft for these kids, just to kind of get the feel of, a draft. I mean, they watch it on TV, they see it in the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, and we just thought that would be kind of a fun deal to do. So that's all that came
about.
And
it's integrating kids from different parts of town that might normally not play with each other, just against each other, so they get to meet different kids playing hockey and so forth.
Exactly. They'll be meeting different kids, and then they'll be playing against them this winter. So, I mean, they'll have a different...
So when you say inline, is this inline skating?
Yeah, it's just rollerblade.
Is this big on the East Coast or anything? I mean...
Well, the first time that I ever saw it, as far as a league was set up, is
California.
California, and it was the big boys. I mean, I remember watching Tiger Williams. Remember Tiger Williams from the LA Kings?
Yeah, the stuff on ESPN.
That's where I saw it.
I remember
The Deuce. It was on the Deuce.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I first saw it. But with this facility that we've got up at Lower Chester, it's phenomenal. So we feel that we can really take off on this and bring it to another level up in this neck of the woods.
So all these games will be played at Lower Chester.
There isn't another facility around.
Okay, is there talk maybe of producing another facility in the future? Any interest perhaps?
Well,
Irving comes to mind.
This is the test market. This is the model.
I don't know if I should go if there's another. There are some people in town who have been chomping at the bit. That really want to do this. And
they'll probably watch and see how this league goes, and then.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Hotlinehockey.com.
.net.
.net. Hotlinehockey.net.
So now, who's instrumental in fixing up Lower Chester? Kenny has many great memories, which you've alluded to in the past. Ken,
I'll tell you what. Like I said, I moved out here about a year and a half ago, and I didn't really get into the whole flow of things until the end of last year. And the bottom line is that besides the city of Duluth, who have been really just spectacular in supporting this whole project. My Uncle Butch Williams, Kurt Johnson, and Dale Stanek, who works for the city, did a lot of grant writing and a lot of phone calling, and through those three generally, or basically, that's where the majority of the funds came in. It was all federal and state grant money that's out there for just this purpose. And I mean, any rink in town can go after something like this. I mean, the money's out there. I mean, the project that we had was about a $250,000 project without the boards. And fortunately, we have a connection with the NHL, so we made a phone call to the NHL, and they supplied the additional funds, and the city also kicked in too. So
really,
we it's just been a kind of a smooth train.
And your Uncle Butch, he played in the NHL.
Yeah, he played for a few years. He played for St. Louis, California Seals. I remember the biggest memory that I have of my uncle was he was playing for the Blues against the Chicago Blackhawks, and right at center ice. I don't know if you remember the defenseman from the Blackhawks, Russell, number 5. He was a big guy. Well, him and my uncle dropped the gloves right there, and that's the biggest memory I have of my uncle. But he was a good hockey player.
Did you pummel Russell?
Well, I told him what I thought the fight was one time, and he told me it wasn't like that, so I can't say.
Oh, okay. Conflicting views, you know.
Again, this is Tommy Williams Jr.
If you're just joining us.
His father, Tom Williams, born in Duluth. It says here he was born April 17th, 1940 in Duluth. Played for Central High School. After Central, his hockey career kind of took off. We have a real nice memento here. We're going to have you talk a little bit about this. Your dad played on the U.S. Olympic hockey team in 1960.
Right. That was in my opinion and the rest of my family's opinion, the first real miracle on ice. There was, the team that was predicted to win it that year, and I can go into another story about this, but the team that was predicted to win that whole thing was the Canadians.
Okay.
And it was first a surprise that they beat the Russians, and then another surprise that they tied the Canadians to win it. So, but when I was living out east about 5 or 6 years ago, I called Derek Sanderson up, and because we have relations with these people, and we got into it a little bit, and
Derek Sanderson.
Yeah, the former Bruin.
And I said, well, we got into, I don't know how the conversation went, how it started or whatever, but it ended up that I was saying, the Russians were the team to beat that year, and then he just went off on me because it was the Canadians, and I succumbed to that because it was the Canadians.
All right.
But I had a good argument with him, but I lost.
How's Derek Sanderson doing?
He's doing very well. He's a very respected businessman. He's a telecaster out there as well. He does some of the Bruins games. Or he may have gotten out of that. I haven't been there in a couple years, but he's a very respected businessman and doing very, very well.
Is he crippled up in the knees?
He's had a hip replacement, and but he's doing very well. He can walk around. He can, he's doing. He can play golf, and he can do all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
So we've got a little memento here we have to get to. This is no ordinary medal here, Tommy. If you just want to open this up and share this here, and Kelly will try to do her best zoom up here.
Yeah, this was this is the 1960 Olympic medal.
Oh, geez. That's the gold medal from the 1960 hockey game.
Yeah, this is it.
Can I kiss that or?
I got something.
Put it in my mouth or something.
Oh, we have. You're from Lower Chester, right?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Show it to the camera.
On the back here, it's got some Latin writing: Sidius, Altius, Fortius, Sir Glaci, and then it says hockey. Looks like Latin. Do you know what it says? Or what?
I don't really know.
Greek. I bet it's Greek because the Olympics are Greek.
I look at that thing just like you guys do. It's amazing. So, but I will say,
8th Olympics. Man, oh man, that is fantastic.
I believe
Johnny?
I was
Feel that thing.
product of that medal.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
You think so, huh?
I believe.
So now you said that your father was on the game-winning assist in that
Yeah, he
gold
was.
medal game.
Yeah, we they were the U.S. team was coming down the ice, and somehow my dad was in the slot, took a shot, hit the pipe, hit the left pipe, and it came out to the right hash marker, not quite to that point. And one of the Christian brothers actually got the goal, so it was. He got the assist on the winning goal against the Russians, and that was.
So you think that's the real? I mean, that was the.
Well, I always assumed that. I mean, that
There's
whole.
really no recorded. It's not. Do they have any versions of it on tape? The game?
Yeah, I have the tape.
Oh, the whole game?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of that championship game,
Yes.
that gold medal
well,
game.
I have the Russian game. That
Okay.
wasn't the championship game. I believe was against Czechoslovakia.
I think so, yeah.
And they
And the U.S. went into the third period losing that game. They were down
Right.
6-4 or something, and they came out and scored.
2-1.
Is that what it was?
They won 3-2
Okay.
against the Russians.
No, the gold medal game.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, the
I
gold
don't
medal
recall
game.
That one, yeah.
The United States, they were losing that game in the third period, and it came out, and I think it was the Christian brothers, Cleary, your dad,
Right.
were the Minnesotans on that team.
Right. And the last person cut from that team was Herbie Brooks.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that. That kind of surfaced during this most recent Olympics. Well, what we've got here is we've got Minnesota's 100 most important sports figures. Topping the list, we'll go through the top 5 here. Kirby Puckett, Bronco Nagurski, George Mikan, Bud Grant, and Patty Berg.
Who the hell's Patty Berg?
And why is she ahead of Harmon Killebrew?
Might be a he.
And Herb Brooks.
Could be a he.
Could be an Irish he.
Hey, you know.
And
Patty Oberg.
on the list of 100, and I'm reading this thing, and I'm going through every name looking for Tommy Williams, and I'm starting to get a little upset here. Because number 93, 94, Khalid Alameen, and the number 95 on the list is your dad, Tommy Williams. I got a nice little picture here. I got this off of the internet. This is from the StarTribune.com webpage. Just a brief little description here of your dad, and it's real nice.
Yeah.
Also, I picked up some of the, through his career. This is off the Internet Hockey Database. Have you been on this page before?
No, I haven't. No.
HockeyDB.com. You go on there and find stats on any player. And your dad, after the U.S. Olympics, played for Kingston, and that is a junior team?
That is it was a minor league team.
Minor league.
Minor to the Bruins.
Okay, that's a minor league team for the Bruins. And then in 1961-62 was his first season with Boston, and he played with Boston for what, 2, 4, 6, 8 seasons? And in 1969, he became a Minnesota North Star. And was that a thrill for him or what? Do you remember what that was like when he became a Minnesota North Star?
Well, it was because it was his home state, but he had to leave the same locker room that Bobby Orr was getting dressed in, so that was a problem as well. You know, so yeah, he was happy to be in Minnesota. From what I remember him telling me this, several times, but he said his greatest thrill in life was being getting dressed in the same locker room as Bobby Orr. So that's kind of a.
Do you have memories out in Boston? Were you a rink rat hanging out there during practice and that, or?
Well, at that age, I remember going to the games with my mother. At the Garden. Yeah, Garden. Yeah, but I have more memories. Like I remember him when Bobby Orr first signed with the Bruins, '66, and he would come over to our house for dinner in the summer, and we'd have street hockey games with him. And
with Bobby.
Back then it was like it was no big deal.
Street hockey with Bobby Orr.
And you think about that years later, and it's like totally amazing that this guy would come and visit you. And
yeah.
But that was fun, and even as recently as I was talking to Ken earlier, my brother and I and my father went over to Mr. Orr's house, as I call him. He gets mad at me because I don't call him Bobby Orr, but I don't got the chunks to call him Bobby Orr. But we went over to his house Christmas Eve one year and just had a beer with him, and it was fun. And he's still pretty close with our family.
So one of the best players of all time?
In my opinion, he's hands down the second greatest hockey player I ever met.
Besides
my dad.
That's fantastic. Well, your dad came to Minnesota to play with the North Stars, played 2 seasons here.
There's an interesting fact that you said before we came on the air about the line he played on.
Yeah, he played when he was traded to Minnesota from Boston. I don't know. It wasn't the first year because I think he came in halfway through. He had been injured at Boston, and that's why he got traded. Boston was like rebuilding. But the 69-70 season, he was on a line with J.P. Parisi and Billy Goldsworthy, and they had the highest scoring line in the league that year, and they made the playoffs.
69-70, his first season with the North Stars?
It was. Well, he played a little. I think he had played maybe a half a season, 68. Is that what that's?
It doesn't say that here necessarily, but he played 75 games.
He had been injured. He had been injured during this year.
Okay.
They just, his retirement year was.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the year that Danny Grant was a rookie.
Yeah, he was on the team.
And did they make the playoffs that season?
Yes, they did.
Highest scoring line in the NHL.
Yeah, that year they were.
What are we doing on time, Kel?
50 and a half.
All right, we got just less than 10 minutes. Your dad comes to the Minnesota North Stars, plays 75 games, has his best season as a pro as far as points are concerned.
Right. Yeah.
That season he had 15 goals, 52 assists for 67 points, 6 playoff games that season as well. Eventually he ended up with the California Golden Seals.
Charlie, do you remember those days?
Wow.
Yeah, I have a watch with that says, I don't have it with me, but I have a watch that has Merry Christmas, 1970, Charles O. Finley.
I was going to say, Charlie Finley.
Yeah, he was a
the
good
Seals.
guy.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, we went to his house out there.
What was Charlie like?
Charlie.
I was a young tyke back then, but
You're a wee
I just
lad.
remember that he was very friendly to us kids, and
Okay.
my dad, he liked my dad a lot. So.
Really? An eccentric individual.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
But hey, Kenny, we have
71, 72, your dad goes back to Boston with the Boston Braves in the AHL.
He had almost had heart palpitations that year because he thought he was going back to the Bruins.
Is that what
And
it
that's what he
was?
really wanted to do. And
Okay.
I remember him being so kind of disappointed about that. But yeah, he really thought he was going back, and then things didn't quite work out.
And he bounced back to the California Golden Seals, and then in 1972, he played for the fledgling WHA and the New England Whalers. So he was back in New England,
Right.
back in Boston.
Right. Yeah, they played in Boston those years, yeah. Where they won the World Championship.
They did.
What do they call that cup?
Calder Cup.
Okay, I think you're right.
Calder Cup.
The
Yeah.
WHA was the Calder Cup. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he went and he played for the Washington Capitals.
He went to Washington, and ironically enough, his coach back here was his coach right here, and that would be Milt Schmidt.
Now, hey, did your dad also play with another Duluthian, Stan Gilbertson?
As a matter of fact, yeah, there was a. They played together on Washington. I believe they played together on California as well, but on Washington, they together each had, I believe it was 7 points each in one game.
Really?
Two
Between
Duluthians.
Stan Gilbertson and my dad, yeah.
You sent me that email about Stan. I didn't.
Yeah.
Is Stan still around?
Yeah, well, I think he's still living out on the West Coast. He's been out there for
Okay.
Wow.
about
All right.
20 years.
So his appearance on the Average Guys will be delayed.
Then he
Well, we
went,
can get Gilby Jr.
well, that would be
I can go
something.
get old Gilby.
There we go.
It looks here like your dad, his playing days ended in
That was
19
in the middle of the season he retired. Yeah.
He did. 75, 76
Yeah,
with the
his
Washington
back
Capitals.
yeah,
Okay.
his back just gave out.
Well, that was really
That was
something.
it.
But
This
we
was,
also have another memento here.
Well, I got
we
a
get
couple
those there?
actually.
Yeah.
well, why don't we pull those out here? Johnny, if you want to assist Tommy.
Watch out for my Coke here.
Okay. You hold these up. You show the people.
Okay, this was given to me about a month and a half ago from Jim Claypool, who's from Duluth. This is the, they were out in Salt Lake City this year. They had a replica jersey made with all of the 60 team players that were still alive. Two of them have passed away, my father and Rod Pavla. But everybody else is on there. Jack Riley, you can see them all. Christian brothers are on here. So this is kind of a neat thing here.
Yeah.
They made it out to my dad's number.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And this
Now look at this, sports fans.
this is. I was gonna have you wear this during this thing.
Oh, you're going to have me wear that?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's the last game jersey he had for Bruins.
Oh my goodness! Look at
Good
that.
Lord, Chester, you can do that kind of stuff with us.
Look at that.
This was a game-worn jersey
Yeah.
with the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
Boston Bruins?
to play on the same team as Bobby Orr and Johnny Busick.
Teammate of Bobby Orr.
Yeah, that's what I mean, to play on the same team.
That is fantastic, Johnny.
Kenny?
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, those are just a couple of things.
Well, I brought my.
And this is something special.
Yeah, this is even Lower Chester.
This is my 1972 era, maybe 71. Willie's transmission. I don't know whatever happened to the number. Thought
They
I-
probably couldn't afford them back
Coach
then.
Perfetto ripped it
Barely
off his
afford them
back.
today.
Yeah.
This is nice.
I think
This
there's
is
still
all-
blood on that thing too somewhere.
Look at that. That is fantastic.
I want to touch that, okay?
You want to touch
So-
I
that?
want to touch that.
Anyway,
Derek Sanderson, Bobby.
we're
Orr.
running
Well, we're here for inline hockey.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, let's wrap it up by saying, okay, now registration again is.
Registration is Saturday from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Again, you can register online at www.hotlinehockey.net, or you can call me at 724-0270 or Rick Lyle or Heidi Lyle at 722-8790. And
Once again, registration Saturday, April 27th. So let's, got to get the date in there.
right?
big things going down there. The average guys, once the league gets set up, might have to come out there and do a show.
I would hope
Oh,
you
look
would.
forward to it.
Get a
Yeah.
tour of the rink and the boards and
Yeah.
all that stuff,
Right.
and find out what's exactly going on.
And
out
this
there.
is just 2 playing levels, might and squirt.
Yep.
Okay.
We're gonna expand though. We're gonna.
So the
expand.
adults will get an opportunity eventually?
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, you know,
It's up to them. If they want to
Yeah.
come, we can take them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the Northland is on the cutting edge of big things up here. With this
We're
Inline.
it. We're it.
We were talking, we got just a couple of minutes here, Kel. We were talking earlier about your playing days in hockey. Any big memories, big moments?
Well, I never went much further than 2 years in college, and I was kind of floundering at that point. I just wasn't, my head wasn't into it. But when I was in high school, my team won the state championship in Massachusetts, which was kind of exciting. And then my brother was on that team, Bobby, and
You were talking about your brother earlier, and
yeah, my brother Bobby was, he had signed a contract with the Bruins and actually had played some exhibition games with Neely and Bork and those guys.
yeah.
And unfortunately, 8 months after he signed the contract, he passed away from asthma. But he was the light in my dad's eye, and he was really probably my best friend. He was a great guy. So, but he was a good hockey player.
There's another Williams that's in the
There is
in the
another
shadows
Williams.
of- Okay.
I have a cousin who comes over to my house all the time and steals my juice boxes for my kids and all that stuff. Mark Williams, who's a squirt right now, and right now, I mean, I can't. He's got to be one of the best squirt hockey players, definitely in Duluth, and perhaps at least
It's
in
in the
northern
bloodline.
Minnesota.
But you can watch this kid play, and you know that there's something special.
Well,
there.
he works hard. His dad works with him hard, and he's a good hockey player.
And who's his dad?
His dad is Butch Williams.
Butch.
With Butch,
My goodness.
he's got the bloodlines.
Truly a legend in Duluth hockey, the Williams family. Tommy Williams Jr., thanks so much for being on the show and sharing this stuff with us. This is fantastic.
My pleasure.
It really puts a tingle into my...
And as we fade out here, we'll end this show. Tommy, thanks again for
You got
coming
it,
on.
John.
Thanks, Tommy.
My
Registration
pleasure,
for
Ken.
online
Yeah.
hockey, Saturday, April 27th, 2002. And let's have Kelly just zoom in as we head out. Thanks again for tuning in to The Average Guys. I'm Johnny D, and as always, my co-host Kenny K. So until next week, it's cool to be average, and we'll see you later.